or Chapter 9, Lesson 2, Equations and Tables. Learning Objective. You will use data in the table to write an equation to describe the relationship between two quantities and then find an unknown value in the table. How can you translate between equations and tables? When an equation describes the relationship between two quantities, the variable, x, often represents the independent variable, and y often represents the dependent variable. The value of the dependent variable is called the input value. A value of the dependent variable is called the output value. Okay, so you should have learned last lesson the difference between an independent variable and a dependent variable. So you need to engrave in your memory that an independent variable is called the input and the dependent variable is called the output. So they have some examples of that up here. So they put the input is 2. So y equals x plus 3, so the output would be 5 because y equals 2 plus 3, which is 5. Okay, so the y would equal 5 and the x would equal 2. Unlock the problem. A skating rink charges $3 for each hour of skating, plus $1.75 to rent skates. Write an equation for the relationship that gives the total cost y in dollars for skating x hours. Then make a table that shows the cost of skating for 1, 2, 3, and 4 hours. Okay, so we're going to write an equation for the relationship and use the equation to make a table. So step 1 says write an equation. So we need to think the total cost, which we're going to use y, because we don't know it, is $3. So we're going to write 3 for that. For each hour, which is going to be x. And this little dot here is times this one. So that dot means to multiply. So 3 times the hours plus $1.75. So what is the dependent variable and what is the independent variable? So the independent variable is the time in hours. And the dependent variable is the cost in dollars, because the cost in dollars depends on how many hours we are skating. Okay, so step 2 would be to make a table. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. So step 2 is to make a table for that. So we just put the input is, this is not going to work. Okay, try it again. There we go. Okay, so we know that the input is our independent variable, and the value of the dependent variable is called the output. So we're going to make this equation, which we decided was y equals 3 times x plus $1.75. Oops. $1.75. Okay, so our rule is 3x plus 75 is going to equal y. So if we look at, if we do 2 hours, we're going to do 3 times 2 plus $1.75. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus $1.75 is $7.75. If we do 3 hours, we're just plugging in that 3 for x. So we're going to do 3 times 3 plus $1.75. 3 times 3 is 9, plus $1.75 is $10.75. And for 4, we're doing 3 times 4 plus $1.75. 3 times 4 is 12, plus $1.75 is $13.75. So all you're doing is replacing x with each input value, then evaluating to find the output value. So it sounds like a lot, but it's just everything that we've used so far. We just need to plug it in and solve it. Looking at our example, Jamal downloads songs on his MP3 player. I bet you guys don't even have MP3 players anymore. The table shows how the time it takes him to download a song depends on the song's file size. Write an equation for the relationship shown in the table. Then use the equation to find out how many seconds it takes Jamal to download the file the size of 7 megabits. Okay, so it's got our table over here with the download times. I'm going to scroll just a little bit. Okay. So look for the pattern between the file sizes and the download times. So they noticed that 12 times 4 is 48. So we've got 4 up at the top here. Well, here, 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 is 72. Okay. 12 times 7, or 12 times, oh, not 7, 8, they skipped one. 12 times 8 is 96. Okay. So our pattern is that we're multiplying each file size by 12. So we need to use that for our equation. So the download time is going to be y, we don't know it yet, is 12 multiplied by the file size, which is x. So the equation for the relationship is y equals 12x. That's the first part of our problem. Okay. Then it says, then use the equation to find how many seconds it takes Jamal to download a file size of 7 megabytes. So we're going to take what we know and we're going to plug in what we also know. So y equals 12 times, we want to know what it would be for 7. So y equals 12 times 7 is 84. So it takes Jamal 84 seconds to download a 7 megabit song. Okay, looking at the Sharon show. Use the equation to complete the table. Y equals x plus 3. We're just plugging in these x values here, the input, to figure out what the output would be. So y equals x plus 3. So here they had 6 as the x, so they did 6 plus 3. 6 plus 3 is... 6 plus 3 is 9. And for the second one, if we plug it in for 8, we have 8 plus 3 is 11. And if we have x is 10, so that means we're doing 10 plus 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. I'm going to have you guys try number 2 on your own. Well, number 2 of Sharon's show, do it on your own. Now we're going to look at number 3 together on your own. Write an equation for the relationship shown in the table, then find the unknown value in the table. So if we're looking at that, 8 times what gives me 16? Well, that would be 2. Let's see if that works throughout the rest of the pattern. 9 times 2 is 18, so that works. 11 times 2 is 22. So I know that y equals 2 times x, because we're taking these x values here, multiplying by 2, and that gave me y. So to find my unknown value, so that's the first answer, it says then find the unknown value. So 10 times 2. 10 times 2 is going to equal 20. So that's first step and second step. Go ahead and try number 4 by yourself. And let's go ahead and look at this Go Deeper. The table shows the current cost of buying apps for a cell phone. Next month, the price of each app will double. Write an equation you can use to find the total cost y of buying apps X next month. So right now, to get from 3 to 9, they multiplied by 3. To get from 4 to 12, multiplied by 3. 5 to 15, multiplied by 3. So I'm just going to double that. So instead of multiplying by 3, I'm going to take 3 times 2, which is 6. So now I know that y next month will equal 6x, because it will double. This month was y equals 3x. I just doubled that number before the variable.